Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot for June 18th. So, I want to take a look today at how the King of Mar-a-Lago is doing. Things are tightening up. You know, more people are being really pressured, I guess. They announced yesterday that Weisselberg could face indictments by the summer. So, obviously, they're applying more and more pressure. I just want to take a look at I want to step into the energy of Dawn and the family and see what we can see. I guess I should have said the Donald. For those of you who checked out the Pendulum Insights video on Soulprint Insights, thank you so much. And for those of you who haven't, who are interested in pendulums, just hop on over to the Insights channel and you'll find it there. To my new subscribers here, thank you so much. Welcome to the Soulprint experience and family. And of course, to my established subscribers, I just adore you. You know, the thumbs up and the brilliant comments and the kindness are all really, really appreciated. So let's take a look at you-know-who and see how he's coping. I think I was watching on MSNBC last night, right at the beginning of the Lawrence O'Donnell show. They were talking about an interview that Trump had done on Fox, and the question was phrased, I think it was by Hannity. So if you were still president, ... And so they were laughing and saying that's probably as close to a concession that Trump is ever going to acknowledge, and perhaps same so with Fox. Here we go. I have a question, and I want to know what it is that's going on in the Trump family right now. Come on down. Here we go. Current state, Trump family. Current state of the Trump family. Current state of the Trump family. So I guess as of now, he's not in Florida. I'm understanding that he is New Jersey, hanging out a little bit at Trump Tower. Okay. Yeah, okay. So let's start with the delusional one. I mean, not that they all aren't to some degrees. He is desperately trying to hold on to things that are simply no longer either in his grasp or, frankly, are likely to stay in his grasp. So we all know he's trying to hold on to the whole White House experience. But he's also trying desperately to hold on to sort of his company and the name, because the name is really what's most important to him, because that, of course, creates the brand. But he can see in his more lucid moments the writing on the wall, and things really are really coming down on him. He is starting to feel an incredible amount of pressure. He cannot see his way clear. And I almost want to say that just like mentally, he doesn't seem to be able to absorb some of the details of what's going on around him, because he doesn't like to listen to anything that doesn't reflect his worldview. Well, his worldview is that he could do no wrong because he was who he was, whether he was in the White House or in Trump Towers. And so he doesn't, he doesn't understand why this whole thing just can't go away. You know, he spent a lot of his years, his whole lifetime, skating away from legal difficulties, and he's sort of flummoxed. It's the only word I can come up with. He's just incredibly. He just can't believe that he can't make this one go away too, just like all the others. And it's like every time he gets new news, it's bad. I'm definitely getting that sense around him that just in terms of his physical health, he is not in good shape. I'm getting the feeling that he's really sort of, winding down. He doesn't have sort of the energy or the vitality that he, had even 8-10 months ago. Or nor does he just doesn't have like the focus, or he's in a very muddled state. Sometimes when I'm sure most of you have had this experience where you are in enough pain from some body ailment that you almost can't focus on sort of what's around you. You can't sort of really, really direct your attention to a specific thing and hold it. And frankly, that actually is also true of emotional pain. But that's sort of the state he's in, right? Where stuff is like going on around him and he's trying really hard to absorb it, except he doesn't like any of what he's hearing. And he's really struggling to understand why all of a sudden this is such a damn big deal. He is still really about holding on to his money. He is still really about, trying to control the narrative. He's still really about, he's very, very busy running around trying to get people closely connected to him to not turn on him. And, the reality is that they're like gonna, okay? I'm sorry. But they're gonna. You've got people who did wrong things for a very long time to accommodate kind of the craziness. And now it's a very simple question. Are you going to go to jail for this guy or not? Now, what's going on now is a bit of like a poker hand, right? There's an announcement that indictments are coming. Well, Weisselberg is not going to blink. Okay, so it really is, I think, going to take until until the indictments actually come down, that he's going to get right serious about who he needs to talk to and how he needs to save his butt. Because right now, they know what was done wrong, but they're still under this ridiculous illusion that the other people don't know. And the other people are uncovering more and more and more, and they do know. But so I think you're not going to see a lot of sort of flipping until things get just even more serious than they are now. He's so angry. He's so hyper focused on the Arizona election results. He's bought into this August thing. He's going to be magically reinstated by who knows how or what come August. None of that's going to happen, right? But he is in a place where emotionally he's really fragile, is actually the word I want to use. It's like he really is reluctant to actually take a good hard look at what he's lost, because there's some part of him that just can't absorb it. Like, he just will not accept everything that's going on. and he's going to push and prod, and he's going to do whatever he needs to do. He's going to bully whoever he needs to bully. He's going to threaten whoever he needs to threaten. And you know what? In some ways, you got to hope some of these people were smart enough to record the damn thing, because I'm pretty sure, like, witness intimidation, I don't think that's a good thing. He really is counting on people to just taking the hit, right? Manafort took the hit. Flynn took the hit. And that's now, the standard. And so in his mind, either you are a Manafort or you are a Cohen. And so he is going to continue to push, and he's pushing on several fronts. He's pushing on the people around him, those closest to him that are getting dragged in for questioning, etc. He is not oblivious to everything that's going on and coming to light with the Department of Justice. So there's some pushing going on there. I mean, he has limited push power, but that's the thing about him. He doesn't actually realize that he's not as powerful as he is in his own mind. And I gotta say, I don't think that family relations are exactly all that happy either. He puts on sort of a face, kind of when there's cameras around or he's in public, but he really is floundering. And, he can't get the numbers to balance. He can't get things to come together. He's focusing now on what he's going to lose. And in some ways, it doesn't feel as if he or the family actually has a plan to how to sort of get out of this, or to how to fix it, or strengthen their position. There is no question, again, and I said it a long, long time ago, he's going to spend the rest of his life trying to defend himself and his reputation. So there really is that sense of, loss. It's like I said, death by 1,000 cuts. And every time there's an investigation opened, every time there's more information that comes out, every time something else comes out that puts him really in a bad, and not only bad light, but in an illegal light. It's just piling up on him and piling up on him. He's actually really, really scared of what the government can do to him. Probably, maybe, I think, I almost want to say with more clarity now than he ever would have had before, because he was able to find out what the government actually could do. And I mean, granted, he used it to bastardize their role and to manipulate everything and go after the people who weren't his bestest buddies. But I think he now has more clarity than he used to have about exactly the force of the government. I don't think I'm the only reader who, when we look at the family, we sort of, Ivanka stands aside. She stands separate. And so I don't know if she's cut a deal, but I don't think it would be beyond the realm of possibility. I think that she is just as ruthless and just as shrewd, and frankly, just as much of a bully, I think, certainly energetically, I can say that, as her dad. And so, she's looking out for number one, and she's looking out for where her her bread is buttered, right? And there's an awareness or an understanding that they really need to pull back away from politics. And so then it looks like, the family name is in a bit of a mess. And so let's pivot to Jared and his family, right? That's kind of the calculations that are going on. So, I wouldn't be surprised to find that out. I've said before that Eric and Don Jr. are going to carry the brunt of this. The investigations in particular into the Trump org, those are going to be very, very difficult to to step away from or to fight. There's just too much documentation. There are paper trails, and the government has this stuff. And so they're not going to have a lot of wiggle room when it comes to that. And I have to tell you that Trump would be perfectly fine, or if one or both of them ended up going to jail, as long as they protected him. And let's listen, Don Jr. would fall on that sword in a heartbeat. Eric, I'm not quite so sure about. But there's definitely going to be bad blood that's going on among the family right now, within the children. The conversations are heated, and they're angry, a little bit volatile. They are all walking around as if whoever's beside him is going to stab them in the back. So there's no trust. I think that there was ever a lot of trust in that family anyways, but they really are in a situation where certainly the children recognize that they are actually surrounded by enemies. And unfortunately, the enemies, some of them, share their same name, their same last name. There's definitely, though, loss coming down the road for them. And there's definitely sort of a walking away from the things that used to give them status or prestige or make them think that they had it. You can anticipate some more information coming out. And I'm getting two sort of feelings on that. One is that there's going to be information that comes out that is in addition to what we already know. So where something's going to get fleshed out a little bit. But I also feel that there is information that's coming out that is frankly brand new. So more skeletons, if you will, are getting dragged out from under the closet. There he is. What a surprise. To the best of his ability, he's charging forward right now. I don't know to what. To judgment. Everything he does that he tries to use to kind of deflect is actually taking him closer and closer to the very thing that he is trying to avoid. And this is the thing. I feel like there are some areas where it's almost going to feel a little bit like he got away with something, but it also feels that there are some areas that perhaps just didn't seem that big a deal in the grand scheme of things that might end up really, really nailing his butt to a wall. And when I say he in that way, it really is about the family. And as I said, the family is fighting and scraping with each other like there's no tomorrow. There is news coming, and it's upsetting. And every time they turn around, there's more and more of it. And, they are just literally seeing the things that they wanted, their hopes, their dreams, just their status, whatever it was, they are seeing that becoming diminished, and they are seeing that it's not only that it's becoming diminished, but it's losing any attraction or appeal that it once had. Okay. And again, this is what happens when you surround yourself and attract people who you yourself say are not very intelligent and sort of lower class, but you make all of those people, frankly, the people who are in control of your life, really, those are not the people who can afford your brand. And so those are not the people who are going to stay in your hotels or buy your stupid ties or whatever else they're hawking. So, the support of bigger money is really not there. People are pretty much done. Even any support that he had, post the election, what is going on with him now has become so, it's just so obvious that he is so unwell, and so erratic and so volatile that really, people are pulling away. They really are. Yeah. There's gonna be so much more stuff that comes out, and he's gonna be found out. And the law's coming after him, the law's coming after his organization, and the law's coming after his children. So I'm not seeing that this is going to get any better. You've got the Magician here, you've got the Moon, you've got Temperance. So again, they're going to try to maneuver, they're going to try to, dodge, they're going to do whatever they're going to do. It really isn't going to work for them, because the reality is that there's just so much information, and it's all going to start coming to light. And they're going to have a very, very hard time trying to you sort of just like balance the emotions, right? It's always going to feel like, they're in the middle of a tsunami, right? It's just not going to be, it's not going to be good. And the reality is their fortunes are changing. They don't have the strength and they don't have the support that they used to have. In fact, the support and the strength, or the strength, I'm sorry, is actually coming from the very people who are reviewing his business practices, et cetera, et cetera. So what I'm saying there is the government, the investigations, the investigators, those are the people with the strength in this situation. And he will just continue to watch his little dream deteriorate and collapse. So what you have now, near as I can figure, is somebody who is very angry, very volatile. I think he's not like lucid all the time. I think he doesn't always make sense. I don't think that he is able to grasp or focus on the seriousness of this, or even just the details of what's going on around him. Because the thing is if you've been doing something for a really, really, really long time, you never got caught, then you're sort of end up in that funny headspace where, even though a really, really long time ago when you started it, you knew it was illegal, over time, he has forgotten that, frankly. And he really does think that his little stint as president is going to somehow save him. And I'm just not getting that. I'm not seeing that at all. The more that comes out, just remember this going forward, the more that comes out, the more volatile he becomes, the more diminished he becomes, and the more likely it is that things are going to continue to go from, bad to worse to flat terrible. Okay, so I'm going to wish all of you a really fabulous weekend. I have a funny feeling you're going to have a way better one than him and his family. Thank you so much. The support is incredible. I'm very appreciative of it. Thank you. Until next time, take care. Be well. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.